I'm loving
this
it,
is
dude.
so cool.
This
bro.
conversation, I love this.
Even for someone who's being invited on, it's a positive experience. So
thank you, bro.
you're spreading positivity, not just online, but I think in person at the same time. So I think it's such a win, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the King of the Jungle podcast. Today we have Luke, one of my best friends for many years. This guy's an OG. This guy introduced so many things into my life. If it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't be here.
Oh, no, dude. Don't do me like that, bro.
I mean, it's true. It's true. This is just the icing on the cake.
Oh,
I'll say that.
But
today I've got a fat list here for those over there. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. Anyway, but I've got pretty much a full page of questions.
Yeah, I'm frothed. Bro.
Mainly Christian based, but a little bit of fitness here and there, a little bit of opinion based questions around society and stuff like that. But the first question.
We're getting political, or no?
No, not really political. We can if you want to. It's very interesting, but
see where it goes.
I mean, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Like I said, there's no limits to. I'm not trying to keep it in the certain questions I'm asking. They're just prompts to start a discussion. So we're just going to try and talk for as long as possible. So the first point I have for discussion is, how do you relate fitness to Christianity, and what is a healthy mindset?
So, fitness. I mean, that's quite a broad term, I think. Fitness is like well-being, like health, bodily health, I define it as. And I mean, health is also in itself quite a broad term, like a state of like being well, like doing life well. And so if I take like Christianity centered around Jesus was the center of Christianity. He was the perfect template of health and doing life well. He did life in a rhythm of a perfect rhythm, a perfect template of in and out, of coming and going, training and resting in a sense. Like he was like a template of your body being a temple of the Lord. And, I don't think he like lazed around at home all the time. Yeah. And I don't think he was also like, working hard and walking everywhere and grinding like all day long. He needed time to rest as well. So I think us training, the in and out rhythm of working and recovering and building a kind of like, what do you call it? A resilience to that and adapting to training styles like that is in a sense like a healthy rhythm of life, of in and out. Because if you think about it, so life means rhythm. I don't know if I'm ranting too much here. Please
go on. I love it when people rant on the podcast, especially this early. The problem about normal, sorry, I'm going to go on a quick tangent here. The problem about normal podcasts is my first two. It's when I first have a guest on, because I'm not at the stage where I'm big, where I can get like famous people on that I used to be in front of the camera. So they're like in front of the camera for like the first time. So it's like in the beginning of the podcast, it's a bit like it's kind of like they have to take a while to like open up, but once they open up, it's great.
Yes.
But then there's the problem with YouTube retention, because the beginning must be really entertaining to keep them involved. Yes. It would be the other way around. So this is probably going to do really well. I must say that.
What can I say? But hopefully the Lord will be with me.
But continue ranting.
Yes. So back to the rant. Rhythm of life. Rhythm is it's a template that Jesus displayed. He displayed a rhythm of coming in and going out, and I believe that life means rhythm and rhythm means life. They're kind of interchangeable, and the reason I think that is because rhythm defined means a repetitive like sequence of sound of in and out. It's like a sort of nuanced kind of tempo in and out rhythm that fluctuates up and down. It's not just all high or all low, because that's just sound, like a mechanical, like a drill or something. Like that's not really like a rhythm, like, groovy in a way. So I feel like relating that back to life is like that. Life is coming in and going out. breathing in and breathing out. Walking with your left foot, then going off your left foot and walking onto your right foot. Training and recovering. Like coming into your home and your family, a place of receiving and input and rest, and then going out into social spaces and social like places where you're challenged and people don't love you the same way. And I think Jesus actually did the same thing. So relating that back to Jesus, I feel like Jesus, he almost like you see it in the Bible a few times where he would sit by himself and just be with his Father, his heavenly Father. And it would be like an inflow from the Lord, like an inflow from the Father, where, it would be like his inflow. And then after that, he would go out and spend time with the tax collectors, spend time with the bad oaks, the good oaks, and like give of himself and perform miracles and this and that. And oh man, just lost what I was. Yeah, so that was his kind of like rhythm in a way. That's kind of how I feel like we should do life. He wasn't just spending time with the tax collectors, or like just partying, take it for my example, to reach guys, because that wouldn't work. You can't just give or just take. If you think about like a king who's in a palace, and he's just getting fed and just getting served, and there's people coming like all around him and like sort of praising him and this and that. That's an unhealthy rhythm, because he's not like working in any way. He's not giving of himself like in that healthy rhythm, that healthy template that Jesus was. In the same way, somebody who's working 24/7 a day job, no one loves them. They're at the bottom of the food chain. Like that's also not a healthy rhythm in the same way. So I think
the matrix.
Yeah, sort of linking that all back to like training. I think training is definitely, in some ways, reflects healthy life, healthy rhythm, healthy Jesus in a way. And I'm not saying that if you train, you're like Jesus, but training in, like I don't go to church, boys. I train, but I think
I'm a bodybuilder. I'm Jesus.
Incorrect assumptions.
Yeah, that was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more to say about that, but I'll probably leave that where it is for now.
So how would you, the way you described rhythm is the same way I see life, but as pattern. So how would you relate rhythm and pattern, the differences between the two? And
yes,
would you put them in the same sort of...
Same category, same box?
Yeah, well, they are the same category, but how would you describe the differences between rhythm and pattern, and why life is rhythm and not a pattern? Well, you didn't say it's not a pattern, but... Yes.
So I think rhythm has a slightly more like nuance to it in a way. Like rhythm, it's got like a kind of groove to it that's like slightly unpredictable in a way. Like music, that's why music's quite groovy, like unpredictable. It's not like boring and kind of like the same.
Well, music's quite predictable, isn't it?
In some ways, yeah. But some music is like exciting, and it's got that exciting groove, which I like. But also repetitive, that has its place as well. And in the same way, in the same way, I think that like rhythm, I think just has the more nuance, kind of like unpredictability to it that makes it more like life. And I think a pattern is like so rigid and too rigid to be lifelike in a way. It's like more robotic.
Okay, so you're saying rhythm is basically pattern but with surprises?
In a sense.
I see.
In a deep kind of philosophical sense.
In a deep philosophical sense. I see. Yeah. So, I mean, my opinion on fitness and Christianity, which sometimes,
I'd love to know what
especially as a... Sorry, I'm doing this because I'm a little bit hot and sweaty. Excuse me, guys.
Turn on the fan. Like.
Yeah, that's a little too much background noise for that. That thing's a loud fan. But anyway, so I get this. Okay, I don't get it a lot. But I get the vibe of people, how people sort of view it as weird and sort of not normal for me to be like a bodybuilder and a Christian. And so I think
why is that?
The problem most people have on the perspective of bodybuilding is self-obsession. And it is obviously very easy to be self-obsessed when you're bodybuilding because it's your body you're building. But like any other sport, there's an equal amount of obsession over that sport.
Yes, yeah.
But just because it's about your body, it just appears way worse than it would be if you were obsessed with like when you're surfing, like obsessed with catching waves.
Yes.
You could have,
because your body is the sport.
Exactly.
So you're obsessed. Yes, you're obsessed with surfing, but it's like now surfing is your body. So like you're obsessed with body, like your sport, because that's what you're aiming at. That's what you work.
Exactly. So it's just the perspective of it is a lot worse, and I feel like people get the view of, like, especially when they see like bodybuilders posing.
Oh, self-obsessed.
Look at them. What goes through their mind is like, oh, they just like, so like, look at me, look how big I am. Like I've done this all, but like, especially for me, obviously there are those people out there. I'm not saying there's not those people out there. There's all kinds of human beings in this world.
There is. That is
very
true.
unique as God created all of us, but
some more unique than others.
Yep. But so the thing is, for me, I just when like I pose, I liked comparing it to javelin for some odd reason. Well, the reason is because I used to do javelin, so I like to compare it to javelin as a sport. And for me, posing is the same as measuring how far through. So if I threw a javelin 40 meters, regardless of if I think it's far, if I think it's little, but I still measure it, then that's measuring my progress. Me posing in the mirror is measuring my progress.
Yes.
And so I don't see it as egotistical. Obviously, I do pray a lot about it, and I do ask God to give me the wisdom to not make it into like self-obsession, because it can lead there quite quickly, because it is about your body, and so it's more tied to you than any like other sport is, where it's the sport. But bodybuilding is very connected, and another way it relates to Christianity, which I heard this. I heard someone say this recently, and I absolutely loved it, is that bodybuilding. Yeah, bodybuilding specifically. Bodybuilding, you don't just go to the gym and then work out and then you go home. You have to spend your day, like, you're eating, you have to plan your eating, you track your meals, you have to worry about sleep, you have to worry about the amount of water you get.
It's a lot more than that.
You have to focus on the amount of protein you're getting in, and you've got to spend a lot of time on that, not just when you're in the gym, but throughout the day. I feel like it's the same with Christianity, with our relationship with God.
It's a lifestyle.
We don't just go to church every Sunday, but instead we spend time in prayer with Him whenever we can, and spend as much time with God as we can, instead of just on a Sunday every morning or every evening. So that's another way I like to relate
it's not just in the gym. It's not just in the church where it happens.
Exactly,
it's everything. It's like the lifestyle that you're living.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so back to the original point, I feel like a lot of people get bodybuilding wrong because, like, again, they think it's self-obsession, but they aren't aware of how much work really goes into bodybuilding. Like, I don't think there's another...
I don't even think I know. I mean, and I'm friends with you. Like, I don't even think I know the full extent of, like, what goes behind the scenes, you know? You must tell me,
especially for competing. Yes. Like, even me for now, it's pretty hard.
Process, bro. Guys,
huge. It's
like weeks of, like, fasting, specific types of months of fasting and water fasting. That's psycho. I wouldn't do that. Even if I was, win money for the thing, but
people have the misconception that it's just kind of like it's, they don't know how hard it is, and they discredit the work because of the egotistical sort of appearance it has.
Yes. It's like, okay, you're not actually motivated, you're just self-obsessed.
Exactly.
I see what you mean. So tell me about the prep. Like what kind of things, you really had to battle, like, things that you love doing, say like, I don't know, eating nice food, that you had to sacrifice, like, and so, whether you thought, the follow-up is whether you think the sacrifice was worth it in a way.
For competition prep?
Yeah, and like lifestyle.
Oof, guys, competition prep, ish. Well, first of all, what I would have done differently is I would have had a coach. Okay. Because that you
pay for, like.
Yeah. Well, like someone that could help me really niche down on someone like very experienced in the area, where they could niche down like what foods my body reacts to differently and what I must eat, because like those things can go really, really niche, and it's like ridiculous the kind of things, the tiny changes of food, even if the calories are the same, the type of food changes and your body composition can change like a tiny bit.
Really, sure.
So yeah, I would have gotten a coach so that I could have someone to tell me exactly like what was the best thing to do, where for me I was just prioritizing as much fat loss as possible. Okay. And so I was eating
to get shredded, get lean,
very little calories. Okay. Obviously I was prioritizing protein, but I had I'm not joking, I had like no carbs at all, like for like zero. 2 weeks. All I ate was so I had like
rice cakes and like
2 or 3 only 2 or 3 meals a day. This sounds kind of normal now I'm saying it. I've been in bulk so long, it sounds so weird to just have 2 or 3 meals a day. But I had like 2 meals a day. I would have tuna with lettuce
every day.
Yeah.
Your mercury
tuna with lettuce, and then I'd have like cooked chicken breast with frozen veggies.
Sorry, tuna and
lettuce. Yeah. And sometimes, on the rare occasion, if I could afford it, I'd put a little bit of olive oil on.
A little bit of olive oil. What?
But my treat was covering it in salt, because that was good flavor, and that was no calories. So the thing is,
so was it worth it? That kind of thing. Hey? Like,
well, no, because not the thing I did, because I did it incorrectly, where it made me too small rather than shredded, where I could have, if I had a coach that really like got to know like my body and how it reacts to foods, then he could have told me a lot better things to do, and I probably would have eaten more, which would have been much better to sustain anyway. But I'm I'm the guy that's like all in or nothing.
Yes.
And so
you're very quick to like sacrifice and put your body on the line.
Exactly. Like I'll put 100% in, and I'll be willing to sacrifice anything. So like literally, I went too far, and so I did lose a lot of weight. I think I lost. Okay, I don't know about just the prep. Just the prep, I must have lost at least 8 kgs.
And you don't like losing weight, or you're just saying it was too much weight that you lost?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, my bulk before the competition at the peak must have been like 84, 85 probably. Okay. And on competition day, I was 72.5.
Okay, so more than 10 kgs.
Yeah, more than 10 kgs.
In how long? Like 2 months?
Probably. Okay. Or just over 2 months. No, just 2 months. Yeah, 2 months.
With the same training?
Yeah, same training.
Yikes. Okay.
Exact same.
So you didn't just
actually, no, I did more cardio.
Okay.
I did more cardio.
Yes, I remember you were like hiking and stuff.
I was more, not really hiking. The main cardio I did was HIIT. I never really did steady state cardio, which now I regret.
Really?
If I were to go back, I would probably do more steady state and less HIIT. Yes. I'll still do HIIT, but just prioritize steady state over HIIT.
I love that kind of fitness, bro.
Yeah, but I was going to say something, bro.
So
it's slightly off track. No. Sorry.
About whether it was worth it and stuff. You're saying you lost so much weight, like, and you didn't really do it right. So the sacrifice wasn't really worth it because you didn't quite get the results. If I'd
had a coach and I'd gotten the results, like the good results, like I did the right kind of meals, even if it was a big sacrifice, it would have been worth it, because like I don't see it as so much of a sacrifice, because like it's more of an experience to me than a sacrifice, because like I mean, yeah, it was a big sacrifice, to be honest. But like, I don't look back and be like, oh man, I wish I didn't do that.
Yes.
Like,
Okay. So
it's
no
not like
serious regrets.
Yeah,
No serious
it's not
regrets.
like I don't regret it at all. And it's
Okay.
weird because a lot of people probably would, but it's not like I'm trying not to. I just don't.
Right.
Like I really don't.
You just-
I
no
just don't.
regrets.
Like I don't really care, to be honest.
There's so many slogans that say no regrets, and it's just coming to you naturally.
Yeah, this is literally coming to me naturally. Like I don't regret
Fair enough.
anything
Fair
from
enough.
the past,
I mean,
really, because it all happened for a reason, and
Yeah, and you're
Yeah,
experimenting.
it
Yeah,
happens.
it happens.
I'll learn from it, but I don't regret it really. I've made plenty of mistakes, especially on social media, but learn from my mistakes.
I've made a couple of mistakes.
I've made a couple. Yeah, I'm human. I've made a couple. But and to the opposite end of the spectrum, bulking I find harder because
Really?
for me,
It's a lot of eating and a lot of lounging. No, I'm joking.
no, I still do cardio on a daily basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even on the bulk.
Yeah, so at the moment I'll weight lift for like 1.5 to 2 hours straight.
Okay.
And then I'll burn like 100 calories on the treadmill, just kind of walking, listening to a podcast or doing whatever. Or just listening to music. But my metabolism naturally is very high. Never mind
Right.
when I'm eating more food than usual. So when you bulk or you cut, your body adapts to the amount you're eating. So if you're eating a lot, your body's like, oh, I got to use this. So it burns more calories. So
your
metabolism
metabolism.
increases without doing anything different
Right.
because your body has to deal with it. And if you eat less, then your metabolism drops,
Yes.
which is very unhandy because you quite literally want it to be the opposite so you can
Yes,
make bulking and
yes,
cutting
yes.
easier. But
So
my
you
body
eat a
takes
lot of small food or something, or like light food, right? To sort of slow down.
No, I would be eating every half an hour if I did that. So literally at the moment I'm eating anywhere between like 4,500 to 5,000 calories a day
Okay.
and 220 plus grams of protein a day.
Right.
And I eat in the morning, I eat every hour on the clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I go to gym. I get home. I eat a meal straight after gym. And then I'll eat an hour or two after that. And then I'll eat again an hour or two after that.
Okay.
So I have 8 meals a day at the moment. Yeah.
Serious. And when
Bulking is hard, bro. Bulking's
bro.
really hard.
That's
Like on a cut, like for me, I would say cut when it comes to like eating, cut over bulk any day.
Really?
Because obviously not performance and energy, because when you're on a cut, your strength goes down, your energy goes
Yeah.
down. But on a cut, like just being like, okay, I mustn't eat now, let me limit myself from eating. That's so much easier than having to go up to the kitchen every hour
also
and
just less
make
of a schlep.
yourself a meal.
Yeah.
And like eating it as well. Like
Yeah, you make it for like, I mean, I live in a dig, so like limited food, limited time, limited energy, limited this, that, money. It's like, yeah, the whole making food and eating it, it's like, yo, it's not even nice sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I wanted to ask, like, when you're doing lots of meals a day, what's like, do you normally mix up everything like a mixed bag per meal? So like carbs, protein, veggies, or do you sort of split it up? So like, okay, breakfast, I'll get carbs in my system and then take it from there. After a workout, carbs and protein. I'm interested to know because
Okay.
I've got my own thing as well.
Yeah, so the first meal of the day, which is 8 o'clock, it's just a small smoothie, and to be honest, it's just like warming up my stomach for the day. Like I don't really have it too much for the calories or the.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 300 calories, 350 calories.
Yeah, so you
it's
track
like
it
it's
to
like
the- to
nothing,
the T, okay.
pretty much. So I
What's that equivalent to? 300 calories. It's like one bite of a burger. Like
Yeah.
one peanut butter sandwich or something.
no less than a peanut butter sandwich.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. But no, probably the same. Depends on how much peanut butter you put on. It's like that. You can put like an extra 10 grams on, and that's an extra 100 calories or whatever.
I load that peanut butter on there, bro.
Oh yeah,
Black
that
up
would
peanut
definitely
butter.
be more. Anyway, so, but it's just like berries and banana and creatine and milk. So it's really quite light. And then an hour later, so that's kind of pretty much just carbs.
Yeah.
I don't try and specifically I probably should, but I get the rest throughout the day anyway. So, and then like an hour later, I'll have my 9 o'clock meal, which is at the moment, I think I might change it out because it's a little bit, my stomach doesn't like it too much.
Okay.
But like a bowl of Pro Nutro with like some fat-free milk.
Okay.
And that'll be like a sort of, it's more of a, it's a...
Pro Nutro makes me hungry. Like,
Really?
I chow it and it's like, I don't know if it's the sugar in it, but it makes me so hungry. I just want more, bro. I could go through a whole pack of Pro Nutro.
That's hilarious. I find it has a weird sort of saggy effect on my stomach. I have it on like, ugh. But like it's weird, bro. I'll have like a small bowl.
Do you want
of
to
Pro
donate
Nutro.
your Pro Nutro to someone? I'm the guy.
Like I'll have a small bowl of Pro Nutro and I'm like a little bit, ugh. But I'll have like 5 slices of peanut butter toast and I'm like feeling good. Or I'll have like a massive bowl of curry. I'll be feeling good.
Yeah.
I'll just have a little bit of Pro Nutro. I'll be like, ugh. But anyway, that's sort of like a
Swap it out
slightly,
for oats, bro.
that's like a light protein meal where I get protein in, but it's not too much. It's like 18 grams of protein in that or whatever.
Yeah.
And an hour later, I'll have peanut butter toast with 2 slices of Bovril cheese.
Sorry, but
Bovril
cheese
and
cheese.
Yeah, buddy.
Bovril.
So it's 3 slices of toast, right?
To the T. So you know, like all the slices, like
Oh yeah,
how
because the
much
thing is,
measure the
because
cheese.
here's the thing is, if I don't do that, then I have to track every single thing every single day.
Yes,
And that
yes, you have to measure it.
Takes so much time
Must be
because you have to
such a
open the
loss.
app, you have to
Yeah.
search and try and find what you're actually using.
Yeah.
One of the ingredients of however many you're using for this meal.
And you like track how many
And then
spoons
put on
did
the
I put
scale.
on, like, yeah.
Put it on the scale, and then like track in there how many grams, and then that's one ingredient done.
Yeah.
And that takes so. And when I eat 8 meals a day, and I have to do that for each meal, I'm not gonna have time for
Super
anything
intense.
else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't have time for
It'll
anything
just
else.
be eating
so I have
like-
to. So I do it for like 2 or 3 days, and then I keep that set of meals and just have the same thing.
Okay.
And it really helps, not just for tracking purposes, but my stomach loves it because then I get used to it and my stomach can
Yes.
just digest it like that because it expects this meal at this time.
Yes.
I have it and my body's like, oh, here's come, digest,
Yeah.
digest.
And I'm
Instead
sure
of-
if you miss the meal for some reason,
Yeah, I just
you're
feel
super
really
hungry.
weird.
You feel really hungry, I'm sure.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to sorry to cut you off. Had like I was a big breakfast guy.
Mm-hmm.
Used to chow big, heavy breakfast. Like I bought this big bowl, kind of like sort of about this big, and I would just like fill it with oats, like just straight up
Oh, yeah, that-
oats, and I would chow that every morning, and like eventually when uni life really hit me and I couldn't chow like big breakfast every morning. I started to get really, really hungry, like in the mornings, and I'd feel like my energy levels were low and this and that. So I wanted to sort of be able to break free of that now, so I can like go through the day, like without being crippled by not like chawing 5 kgs of oats in the morning. So yeah, that's been like working quite well for me now, like being not too like dependent on like some kind of heavy meal during the day and kind of trying to be flexible in a sense. But I guess for training, I don't know if that's really optimal because I kind of just chow what my body needs in a sense. But then
Well, if it's what your body needs, then it's optimal for training.
I guess.
But the question is, can you read your body well enough to know what it actually needs?
Yes.
Because it's very tricky to...
Do you think you could do
It's
that?
like, hey, body, what do I have now? 2 slices of peanut butter toast, please. Okay.
I'll take 5 grams.
It's not that easy, bro. Life's a bit
creatine.
more complicated.
Yeah, sure. I think that's kind of that whole chat. I was interested to know about the prep and the
Oh,
eating.
yeah. So I'll continue going on that. So the first 3 meals are more just kind of to get calories in. Obviously, prioritize a little bit of protein, but it's main to get calories in. And the 4th meal I have is chicken and rice. Obviously protein based with carbs because I always got to get some carbs in.
Okay.
At least 60% of calories must be carbs for my diet.
Right.
That's optimal.
So every meal you try and get that
for
split.
men, that is. Women, it's different because they process food differently.
Do you know what I heard actually about men and women?
Mm-hmm.
The gap. So my roommate or housemate in Stellenbosch, I won't say. Yeah, he's.
Do you want to get back to this topic? Because I've got a lot to say on this topic because I've done a lot of research.
I'll try and remember it.
recently.
I'll cross my fingers. You must keep going.
I'll remember it as well because I was like last week I did a bunch of research on this because I'm training this girl now.
Really? Okay.
So anyway, so the next meal is chicken and rice, and it's just protein, sort of pure protein, carb focused. Like I try to keep fat out of it because it's nearing my workout. It's within the 2-3 hour range of a workout. And then
so what's the science behind that?
Well, to be honest, fat just makes my stomach feel heavier, and I don't want to train with a heavy stomach.
Yes.
Like I want to have food in my stomach, and I want to. I see it.
You want to have some
see it
kind
as
of
more
fuel, but not
the chicken
too
and rice
heavy.
I see as like the backbone power of my workout.
Right.
Like I have the chicken and rice to build the backbone.
That's the base.
And then about half an hour to 45 minutes before my workout, I'll have a bowl of like Cocoa Pops or honey hoops and water.
With a bit of salt, surely, for...
No, not
the
for salt.
veins.
I have plenty of salt in all my other meals, so don't have to worry about it. Yeah. But I have like some sugary sort of cereal
sugar booster
in water.
Kind of thing.
Very important, it must be in water.
Really?
Because milk, again, for me, it feels heavy in my stomach.
Oh,
so,
sure.
And this meal is purely for just trying to get quick carbs.
Yes,
and
to spike you a little bit before the
guys,
workout.
Here's another difference between male and female.
Yes,
for us guys, we need carbs for quick energy source.
Okay, and girls is?
Fats. Very interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, we'll get back to this. But basically, I try to get a decent, not a big amount because I don't want to fill my stomach, obviously. But for me, like having like Cocoa Pops or honey hoops in some water, just a small amount, just like gives me that extra boost in the workout. Like it's just that extra little easy, digestible, quick carb source.
Yeah.
That
Bit
I can
of
feel my
energy, yes.
Fuel my muscles while I'm absolutely demolishing them for a following of 2 hours.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get home and then...
Hopefully you don't crash, like, during the workout. Crash after the workout. Sugar crash, because that's the thing.
No, I don't have that much sugar.
Oh, okay.
It's really a small amount.
Okay.
It's like half a small bowl.
Okay,
it's not like I'm having a bowl of cereal.
Yes,
I have it half an hour before a workout, so it needs to be a little bit. But then after my workout, I'll indulge in more fats. I'll have 5 to 6 eggs in a bowl of couscous.
Yeah.
And couscous is a bit
5 to 6 eggs.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and you get a decent amount of fat through the yolks of them all. As well.
Okay.
So I get my fats and my proteins there. And
I heard something that yolks were like bad for your heart or something, but I think it was a very old study done back in the 80s, and they're like,
no,
I think it's cap.
It's definitely cap. Yolk is very healthy for you, but it's healthy fats.
Oh, okay.
So
because that's the thing that the little babies chow on the inside of the egg for energy.
Yeah. So if you have,
or you're on meal 16.
Yeah. So if you have too many yolks, then it can be unhealthy because your cholesterol levels go too high. It can affect your cholesterol levels quite a lot.
Yes,
as
I think
I've
that's
heard
what they were
via my friends at gym. But I haven't done too much research on myself. Which I probably really should before I speak about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
But so that'll be like a higher protein fat meal there. And the couscous is quite a really good carb source. Actually, it's like rice, but it's higher in protein actually. And takes 2 minutes rather than 30 minutes to cook.
Yeah. So you just pour
and it's
boiling water in and it's done.
It's filling as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel really nice and full afterward. Obviously, I'll have some of these meals with like some sauces and stuff. So like I'll have probably like a bunch of tomato sauce, some chili sauce, and chili oil,
just
whatever.
Chili oil.
Chuck, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, that stuff's good. Spicy oil.
Never tried it.
Oh, we've got some upstairs. When we're done, you could.
Let's wrap this podcast up, bro. Try some chili oil.
Yeah, and then obviously the next meal is I'll eat whatever my mom makes. My mom comes and clutches with some good meals.
Yeah. For supper.
Yeah, that'll be
supper
like my
time.
Yeah, supper. So dinner will be my biggest meal of the day. I just try and eat at least sort of 1,000 calories in that meal.
Okay.
And I'll try and get around 100 grams of protein in one meal. Sometimes it falls a bit short, so I supplement with something a little bit after, but generally not too much. Oh, and also talking about supplements, I don't have protein powder.
Really? You're off, eh?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, the main reason
it should be a supplement to your meals, and if your meals are enough,
I would recommend it for bulking, But for
Okay.
maintaining or cutting, get a healthier carb source.
Really?
Because
Okay.
you can get more protein in like a chicken breast, and that's extremely healthy because it's a natural source of protein rather than this sort of powdery stuff that was made in the lab.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm not saying it's terrible. I mean, there's better
just
ways
not
to get
optimal.
protein.
It's
It's
not
not
optimal.
optimal,
Yeah.
but like on a bulk, sure, go ahead, because you're trying to get as much in as possible, and it's an easy way to get in.
Yes.
So you want like kind of easy ways to get calories in, but the problem is
Or if you're poor,
the protein.
you don't have
the-
money for chicken. You just have a big protein box. Like,
I don't know. Protein powder gets pretty expensive
yeah,
sometimes.
that's true actually.
But the protein powder I was using for a while, I don't know if the brand decided to add some new ingredient or something, but my stomach hates it. So
What's the brand?
SSA, Supplement South
SSA.
Africa.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
because I took the vegan stuff, because when I take whey, my skin reacts a lot, and I get a lot of acne,
Okay.
especially on my back.
Really?
My brother got it really bad.
Sure.
Like my brother was like coated in acne on his back when
Sure.
he started taking whey.
Oh,
And I don't get it
hectic
as bad
whey.
as him, but I did take whey like for literally like a week, and I started getting like acne on my back, like on my traps, like the back of my traps, they sort of just dotted around.
Gnarly.
So it's, I don't know, there's some sort of chemical in the whey that my skin
Yeah,
just kind
you
of goes like,
don't like it.
pimple, 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 pimple. So yeah, I don't have that. And then
Sure.
after dinner, around 2-3 hours, more like 3 hours, because I try and stuff myself with dinner, and I'll have like a bowl of yogurt. Yeah. Yogurt's got
Plain or
no, flavored. I don't know,
Okay.
flavored yogurt. I mean, I'll have plain every now and then, but then if there's no flavored yogurt, I'll have plain, and I'll just chuck some like honey in or whatever.
yes, yeah.
Which is actually
Yo,
better.
bro,
So it's
honey and cinnamon in plain yogurt.
better. Ooh.
Yeah, that slaps.
Yeah, it's
or,
good.
or
And
like
it's-
honey, cinnamon, blueberries.
Oh yeah.
That will get you going.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay,
No,
well,
I've actually had that before, except without cinnamon, and
Yeah.
it's actually like good.
Do
But
it.
there's good in yogurt. There's probiotics inside of yogurt. That's really good
bacterium
for
cultures. Or
really
something.
good for your digestive system.
Yes.
So I have it at the end of my day after I've eaten everything.
Yes,
for
to
my
sort of
digestive
sort out the.
yeah.
Okay, very calculated.
Yeah,
That's very,
so
very
help the
calculated.
digestive system after everything, so kind of, assists.
I'm getting a lot of tips from this.
yeah.
Yogurt
So,
in the evening.
Yeah, I would say yogurt last thing.
No protein party. Yeah.
Yeah, light protein and carbs before sort of your fitness time of the day, and then afterwards you go with the stuff that feels a little bit more heavy, but not off heavy. Just
Yeah.
sort of like for me, my egg and couscous meal makes me feel pretty heavy, but it
Egg,
doesn't
yeah.
make me feel like heavy.
Yeah.
It just makes me like, oh, I'm satisfied.
Yes.
That was a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Stomach's like, okay.
But my stomach gets used
I
to
get-
it, so
I get
I don't
you, I
I don't
get
feel
you.
that heavy, because my stomach's like, oh, here comes the 5 eggs and 120 grams of couscous.
Stomach's ready for it.
Exactly.
What is couscous made of? Do you know?
Bro, I have no clue.
Because couscous, it's obviously not chopped up rice.
No,
It's not,
no, it's not rice.
it's not like
a different type of carb.
potato or like legumes or something.
I would have to do some research,
wonder.
bro. But
Check out some of those questions while I check.
yeah,
It'd be
bro,
interesting to know.
we've been, how long has this been? This has
Tangents on
been almost 40 minutes, and we've done one question. on the end.
crazy. All right, boys,
Oh,
you're gonna be in
goodness.
this for the long run.
Yeah, buddy. So, yeah, are you searching about the couscous?
you can
What
just-
what is couscous made of, my friends? We're about to figure out with me,
Okay.
James Chadwick. What have you got for
Couscous
us?
is a traditional North African dish of small steamed granules of rolled semoloya. That is often served with a stew spoon on top. Pearl, millet, sorghum, bulgur, and other cereals and some blah, blah, blah. But what is couscous? Is it just couscous? Maybe it's like
Yo, maybe couscous is couscous, like rice is rice.
yeah, like
Maybe couscous
yeah,
is
it's
couscous.
like fair enough. Is couscous a pasta or grain? It's actually a type of pasta.
Huh?
Interesting. Some people believe it might be a type of grain like rice or barley. That's what it says here, but it's actually a type of pasta. Yeah, I guess that's quite interesting.
That's fascinating.
What is healthier, pasta or couscous? What do you think? Yeah. It says here,
couscous. Well,
couscous has a nutritional
Couscous,
profile similar to white pasta, high in carbohydrates, without any other health benefits such as fiber or protein content. But the other one said it had protein, which is weird.
Couscous is higher than protein than rice.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But they said, like, as far as a carbohydrate content goes, there's no real difference between couscous and pasta.
Oh.
So amounts of carbs, which I guess kind of makes sense.
But there's definitely much more, actually.
Well, they say there's a bit of protein. They say, like, main ingredient, semolina. Semolina.
Semolina.
That's it. Semolina.
Semolina. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have some semolina when we're done with this.
Some semolina.
Some semolina with
wood chuck.
How's that wood chuck? Yeah, bro.
Same thing.
Some semolina with some egg. Okay, on to the next question. So we actually have we have to actually have a higher chance of actually getting through all these because I've got some really good questions on here, and I really hope we'll be able to get through them all because they are all absolutely. I've spent like days
far away
creating this list, and trying to be as sort of like just sort of as interesting as possible. I'll say that. The next question is an interesting one. Take of it as you will. Take the context of the question as you will.
Yes.
But do you think winning and success are the same thing?
Ooh, winning and success. That's an interesting one. I feel like a win's almost like a short-term kind of dub, in a way, if I can put it simply. Success is almost like something that's consistent and you can't really take away from it. It's like a win you can like lose in the next round, in a way. But if you're a success, that means more and it's longer lasting in a way. It's almost like more, I don't know. It's more like fulfilling. What would you rather take, success or a win?
Success.
Any day.
Yeah.
What can I say?
So, to second that question, how much do you think winning is just a short-term relief from the fear of not being enough?
Say that again.
How much do you think winning is just a short relief from the fear of not being enough?
Okay, that's interesting. That actually ties to something that I learned in psychology recently. Jungian psychology. I might not quote this right, but from what I've heard in Jungian, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jungian psychology. Have you heard of it? Yeah. It talks about how like the things you're motivated on a conscious level are actually influenced by the opposite on the unconscious level. So if you motivated like to say, I don't know, take a simple example, like be extremely like, I don't know, controlling, like you're a controlling person, you control other people in a way. They say on the inside, you're actually motivated by, on an unconscious level, you're motivated by the opposite, which is you're actually, you're feeling subconsciously on an unconscious level that you don't have anything under control. Like nothing is controlled and you're in this feeling of chaos. So you react in the opposite way on the conscious level, which is controlling people. And so to tie that to your question of, is winning like a way of just feeling good, you know, for compensating for a feeling maybe on an unconscious level, which could be, you know, somewhat what the question is. That's how I interpreted the question. Yeah. I think definitely. I think it could be a way, like how Jungian theorizes about the unconscious, is that you can be motivated by the feeling of the opposite. You could actually be feeling like a failure, which is what motivates you to be a winner. It's not just a natural, unconscious feeling of, okay, I am a winner, so I'm going to be a winner. It's like I'm actually feeling a little bit like a failure, like a fallen creature, which is what we are. We are fallen creatures. We're failures now, by nature, by default. So yeah, I think that could be what, what's partly like motivating.
That's very very interesting. The fact that you brought up that we are naturally like fallen and sort of failures in a way. That sounds very harsh, but
it's quite sad. It's quite sad.
Reality,
but
though.
if you think about it, it's kind of true. Like by default, if we like
read
don't do anything.
Read the Old Testament, and you'll know.
You'll see what those oaks get up to.
100%. Yeah. That was an interesting point.
What do you think about like what I said? Do you think it's sort of,
bro?
you don't have to answer. I mean, if
no, I'm just thinking. My cogs are turning. I just a bit of Q20 there.
Some ice to like speed up the internal processing.
So I think a lot of the problem about a lot of these questions is like some of them I don't have answers to.
Yes, yeah.
Some of them I haven't thought my answers.
I mean, that's fair enough.
But like
some answers I also might not be able to answer.
No, but I'm saying like I wrote down the questions and I didn't really think of an answer to give when I wrote them down. But I mean, that's fine because there's lots here. But I mean, I think it really. I think the first few wins definitely are sort of subconsciously looking for relief of the fear of being enough. I
see what you're saying. Because it's like, I mean, some guys. Okay, I'm gonna relate it back to gymming because that's like an easy example. Like guys who start gymming.
My viewer base is mainly based on. So yeah,
hopefully it'll work. Like some guys start gymming for girls. They're like, they feel like a failure in that way, so they want to get some dubs, and then after a while of gymming, like they're sort of, I don't know.
Intentions change.
Change in a way.
They more do it because they like it.
Yes.
That was actually me, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I sort of, because I was, I wouldn't necessarily say because I wanted more girls, but I would say specifically because I more hated myself.
Okay. Yeah.
I hated the way I looked.
Just felt like an L. Like felt like
I felt like a bit of an L, and I thought, okay, let's next option, let's try transforming my body.
Yes.
And I just love doing it. So I did it to. I mean, I said this on the previous podcast. I don't have any goals anymore.
Yeah.
I've reached all the goals I originally set.
Oh, goals.
Goals.
I thought you said girls. Oh. I don't have any girls anymore. I reached all the goals and I was good.
That's funny. Yo, I don't have any goals anymore. No. Okay, so I don't have any goals anymore.
No goals.
Long-term goals for training. No, like...
Just dreams.
No physique. No physique goals. Like when I started, I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to be muscular, whatever. And right now, like I actually discussed this with Joe on the first podcast. Yeah. Is my goal that I do have is to train hard every day.
Sure. Okay. I like that. So more of a lifestyle goal.
First of all, if I don't train, which I don't train in a day, which I haven't done in like forever, then it feels. Then I feel like I feel bad because I kind of feel like a bit of a failure because I've missed my goal of training hard every day.
I see what you mean.
And so, and sort of, it wasn't a conscious shift to being like, okay, my goal is to train hard every day. It just was more like I love training hard every day, and when I didn't, I feel off.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. And I feel like when I had the conversation with Joe, he kind of opened my eyes up and I realized actually my goal was to train hard, but I didn't even know it. I was just acting.
Yes, it was on a
I was being it,
level.
but I wasn't knowing it.
Yes.
Which is pretty epic because then that's a true goal when you don't really actually know the goal, but you just kind of acting towards it.
Yeah, it's more of a drive. It's more of like, it's less of like, what you've written down on paper. It's like a deep drive.
100%, bro.
Definitely.
100%.
I'd love to chat about that later. after the questions. That's a very interesting,
Yeah.
got a few things about that.
This one's slightly related to
this next question.
the fear of not being enough, which is a little bit of a deep question.
Yeah.
But how do you battle feelings of depression?
Feelings of depression. I think I've got a couple quick...
And also, what do you think they stem from?
Oh, okay. It's deep follow-up as well. leading me into
So you don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
Yeah, no. I'll answer as
same with any other questions here.
Sure.
But nothing's too specifically personal. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll answer
This one's
as
probably
best
the
as I
most
can.
personal.
Feelings of depression, it's like a feeling of not being enough, coupled, I think, by maybe a bit of loneliness as well. I've experienced being lonely before. I had a short while where I was living by myself. None of my roommates were moving in with me and stuff. Well, they were all on holiday.
I mean, we men. I feel like all guys know what it's like to be lonely.
Bro, it's real. It's so real.
It's very real.
I was I was in that house by myself for, I don't know, 9 days. It's just not a lot. That's nothing compared to how long some guys are lonely for, deep lonely.
Yeah.
And I was just chilling there by myself, and you get this feeling of nobody knows you. Nobody knows me. On a spiritual level, no one's connecting with me. On a emotional, physical level, nobody knows what I'm getting up to. It's just this lonely feeling of nobody knows me. It's really, really sad. So when I spent that time by myself being lonely, eventually it kind of hit me. And I think I could really see how that can lead to you being depressed.
Yeah.
In some ways, because you don't have, I think a big part of depression is feeling like no one loves you in a way, and no father up there loves you as well. So the person that matters doesn't love you. No, people I'll leave that thought there. But I think the first way to properly equip yourself against the onslaught of depression is community and family and friends, because you can't say I've tried everything, but I haven't put myself.
Have you tried everything?
Yeah, haven't put myself out there for community and friends, and I'm still lonely. But why am I still depressed? I think loneliness is a big part of that. And the second thing I think is routine and discipline. It's a bit of a bland answer, but sometimes you break routine, you break discipline when you're feeling stressed and when you're feeling you need to compensate.
Discipline's a big one.
It's a big one.
Same for me. If I don't get if I have a day where I slack off, then I feel I don't feel depressed, but I have those feelings of sort of depression.
Yeah. And so when you feel stuff isn't working out and you're not working out, as you know.
Nice.
You do kind of get this feeling of incompetency, which definitely heightens. Not only are you losing out on the health benefits of socializing, gymming, getting involved in some kind of cultural and spiritual activities. It's also just you feel you're a nobody and you're worthless when you're not being disciplined and staying focused. It's everything just feels it's falling apart. So that depressive feeling, the first one would be not being lonely. Second one would be being around people and staying disciplined, and also just building your sense of full life. That's a big one, actually, quite a deep topic in itself. Full life, what does that mean? Well, do you want to?
No, keep going.
Oh, okay.
I want to see where you go with this.
Well, yeah, full life. Surely, like, just give a quick, what your thoughts on full life are, just before I keep going.
I don't have any thoughts right now on full life. I was like, I'm trying to get your intention on this. Like, I'm trying to get the
heart of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the heart of what you mean by full life.
Full life. Okay. Well, I can explain sort of what I think of it.
Wait, you mean like a healthy life?
Yeah. So full life, as in, okay, this is what I mean. So a few months ago, I was walking down the street back from uni, like by myself, and just thinking about like the whole meaning of all of this, like the whole meaning of wanting to get a job and wanting to get a wife and family.
So you started having the spiral thoughts.
The spiral thoughts, in a way, like, why am I working so hard? Why am I grafting?
What's
for
the
what?
purpose of life?
Yeah, exactly. What's the purpose of life? Why am I doing all of this?
God did make me from dirt after all, so I'm just dirt.
Not that deep, but yeah. So I was kind of like, even asking the Lord, like, Lord, why am I sort of grafting so hard for my life? Like, why do I want my life? Why am I putting so much effort into having a good life? Like why am I gymming or training and sprinting and, working, doing academics so that I can get a job and looking for potential wife.
Whoa.
Looking for potentials. Like, why am I prioritizing that so much? Like, why is it such a big deal to me? Why am I not like chilled with like being a, like kind of guy who just does nothing? Why is discipline so important to me? It's a lot of questions here, but why is like being better than the guy you were before yesterday so important? Why is not missing a training day so important? Why do I feel depressed in a way, or more slightly depressed when I miss a day of training, or I eat terribly, or I sleep terribly, or I fail a test, or this and that? And I think it's because deep down, everybody, I think it actually comes from the Lord. Everybody knows that they have some kind of potential. Their life has some kind of potential to be 100%. To be glorious and to be like beautiful. Everybody deep down knows, like subconsciously, their life has the potential to be something great, be something beautiful and magnificent and glorifying.
Yeah, I can
even on a subconscious level. Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just going to quickly say, and I can definitely say why it's from the Lord is because animals don't have this. Animals don't strive to be like the best they could possibly be. They just do the same thing over and over again because they're animals, and we were made in the image of God, not animals. Yes. And so we have this trait, and animals don't. So it's definitely a gift from God. But
definitely,
continue going.
Shot. That's, I mean,
no problem.
So to summarize, that small part of it was like I had that revelation that everybody actually has this feeling. Everybody's working because everyone deep down wants to sort of, they realize that they have the potential to be beautiful, in the metaphorical sense, and they realize that they have like a potential with their life to be something magnificent. And when you're not like, okay, so think of it like a Lego set. Okay, so everybody has like a unique set of Lego set pieces that they're given with. Okay,
yes.
And deep down, that subconscious knowing of what of like your life as a potential for something is almost like you wanting to create the coolest Lego Star Wars ship, like ever. Out of these pieces, you don't want to waste any pieces, because that's a terrible feeling. Feeling like you're wasting your pieces, you're wasting your 100%. Time. Terrible feeling. And I think that you've got this like potential for these pieces to be something beautiful. And so what's the conclusion? I'm going to create my own instructions for how I can make the most beautiful Lego set, fulfill the most beautiful potential for my life.
Would you create your own instructions, or will you get the instructions for the one who made you?
So that's what I'm getting to. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
Or the one who designed you.
Exactly. The designer of the Lego set, you know. It's like some people fill it with, okay, if I can tick these boxes, so like healthy marriage, healthy, you know, like big house, good body, fit, musical, whatever it could be.
Yeah. Like you build something, but it's not a beautiful structure.
It's not, or at least not as beautiful as it could be.
Yes.
Not as beautiful as it could be. The potential for your life is just, it's just not as beautiful. It could never be. It's like you've got 1,000 pieces and you're supposed to create your own instructions to make it as beautiful as the creator intended it. It's impossible.
And to use all the pieces as well.
It's impossible. And make it strong and structurally this and
exactly.
that. It's impossible. The only way I feel to get the most beautiful, like, potential for your life is to do it by the design of the creator and the design of the guy who designed the Lego set and built you and has a plan for you in a way. So when I realized that, I was like, yo, where's my instruction manual? Where can I turn to? The Bible.
Bible, yes.
Black and white truth.
Basic instruction before
manual.
leaving Earth.
Exactly. Basic instruction manual. That's where I turn to. And so then I was like, yo, great. So now, how can I like abandon my old Lego set, my old, you know, instructions? Because there were some things that I was prioritizing, some instructions that I thought were going to lead to full life. Things that were going to lead to the fullest, most beautiful potential for this Lego set. There were things that I was prioritizing in a way. So I was like, Lord, like I prayed, I was like, expose these things to me. And like weirdly enough, the things he exposed to me like weren't the things that I thought he would.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
as most prayers turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unexpected.
Yeah, even to like a bodybuilding crowd, like discipline and motivation is big. Like that's important for a bodybuilder. Yeah. You gotta have routine. It's something you prioritize. You gotta have discipline. It's something you prioritize. You gotta, you know, for eating and for training and for sleeping. Like I know just a tiny fraction from what you've told me is how much of the discipline that you need to be a bodybuilder. But
you get used to it.
Yeah, I think that by itself isn't going to lead to full life.
Yeah,
that's just what I personally kind of feel. And the reason I know that it's not going to lead to full life is because I had an experience where, you know, I realized that it's not like the Lego set almost broke in a way. Like it wasn't a strong Lego set. It was like I was building a structure.
It had no foundation.
It had no foundation.
You built your house in the sand.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Exactly.
I love
built
that
the house on
so
the
much.
sand, bro. And I figured it out. I got my wisdom teeth removed a few weeks ago.
Oh.
And it was like a
Nice and chubby for a bit.
Yeah, it's like a 3-week recovery.
Oh, yeah.
During that time, all the things that I prioritized because I thought they were going to give me full life went out the window. Things like discipline, things like being better than you were the day before, working hard, being academically focused, being good at chatting to girls.
Yeah. Chatting with wisdom teeth removed, I can imagine this.
All went out the window. All went out the window. So I was like, this can't be leading to full life. If it's this futile and fluctuates like this, and every time the wind and the waves come, wisdom teeth removed, it gets washed away off the sand. How can I build my Lego set on something strong, on a rock? And you know, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus came, he said, scripture, black and white scripture, the truth says, I came so that you may have life and have it fully. It's not through the things of money or working out that's going to by itself lead to full life, because it's building on sand and it's going to get washed away. Scripture says the same thing. don't invest in the things of this world where moths chow and thieves break in and steal. Don't invest in it because it's not going to lead to full life. You know, and that was so pivotal for me. I was like,
yeah, dude.
I was like, there are
Such
so many
good stuff.
things. I'm prioritizing like what I'm wearing, like these clothes and these pants, and like, you know, like how hard I'm training, because not even on a conscious level, on a subconscious level, I felt this is going to lead to full life. This is going to lead to me, you know, and then when those things didn't happen, and like I was devastated.
Yeah.
You know, when you can't. So I wouldn't like encourage myself, you know, every time now that I don't, you know, do a workout or like finish a project on time or get a bad mark for a test because I'm in uni. I would encourage myself to be, you know, just rooted back to, okay, this is not where I'm deriving full life from. You know, I'm not building my house on this. My house is built on the Lord, and He gives me full life no matter the wind and the waves, because He's the rock. So yeah, that's
good,
my
bro.
sort of,
I love that.
That's what I mean by full life.
Yes, that is a very good. That's just good. That's facts, bro.
What can I say?
A full life is one that glorifies God, and your works on your treasure in heaven are earned by your works on earth. Yeah. And so many people like just think like, yo, I've got to live my life. I've got to enjoy it and have fun, because once it's over, it's over. But this is your life on earth, and this is the rest of your life. Like
not even that.
Not even that. Sorry, it's eternity.
Down to somewhere Table Mountain.
Yeah, literally.
History. Yeah.
Sound just somewhere forever. Because like we can't comprehend eternity, because we still in the flesh.
Imagine if we could. People would live life very differently.
Yeah.
If we could.
If we fully understood the fact that our life on earth is this much, and the rest of our life is just to eternity.
Yeah.
No ends, infinity line. That's not a
It's
circle.
a completely different deal.
It's not even a circle. It just never ends. Like we can't comprehend it. But like if we were able to comprehend that, I think society would, I don't like the word society, everyone would be very different. Like really, really different. And I feel like we would all have very similar intentions.
And the sad thing is like people questioning like medicine. It's like, imagine a doctor offers you medicine, but you have to check. It's like, no. So I won't take this medicine. I know you saying it's going to heal me, but first I got to check all the details on the back of the medicine box to make sure that it's like, bro, just take the medicine, have a bit of faith.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the same with going back to my point about life on earth versus eternal life, is having faith that it is true, because again, we can't comprehend it. So like we just need to have that faith that God has a plan for us.
Yeah.
And that there is this eternity after that it is pretty well described in the Bible. That's kind of more factual than faith. The fact that we will get this eternal life in heaven or hell. So it's,
yeah. It's like if you know the antidote to like cancer and stuff, like would you share it? You know? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude. I mean, my biggest things, because right now is the least depressed I've ever felt in my life. I'm the most deeply joyful I've ever been. And that is because, it's a few simple things, but first of all, I have like a lot of work to do. And I feel like I can't speak for like women as well, but I feel like for men, because I'm not a woman obviously, but
whoa, man.
Like when we have I'm made of dirt, not a rib. So if we have like a lot to do work-wise that we will know will like provide in the future, like it's so satisfying. It's deeply satisfying. And some of my most depressing times is when I didn't do anything. When I was just watching YouTube videos all day. But when I started doing something and felt like I was making a difference and having a purpose, that really helped. But second of all, and more importantly of all, I started spending more time in prayer and more time worshiping the Lord.
Yo, worship's so important. It's
Dude,
so important.
Worship is so important. Because I've been a Christian my whole life, right? I've had my really down stages. I've had having my really high stage.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, obviously in the past, I always used to, like, I've always spent, like, not lots of time, but throughout my whole life, I've spent, like, a lot of time in, like, prayer. Obviously not when I'm, like, really young, because I'm sort of, why the heck would I talk to myself? When we're kids and we don't, like, understand.
Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he? Oh, no, he's not there. I'll talk to myself. But like, it says I kind of gain consciousness out of the childlike life.
Yeah.
Where I understood, like, prayer and that stuff. I would pray, but when I started, like, a couple months ago, I started to learn to play the guitar, so I could, like, worship more.
Yo, that's sick, dude.
And
I've sick.
I've curated my music to, like, worship music, and now instead of just listening to repeated
Lo-fi
it's not like bad music.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like Satanist music. Like, it's just like sort of lo-fi or like house music. Like, it'll just be like a beat sort of playing.
Yeah.
But instead I've been like playing like worship music on repeat. And like, first of all, that, like, listening to worship music like all the time, whether it's worship music or whether it's like worship rap, where it's these oaks like literally worship in rap. It's quite rare, but it's actually really good and really impressive if you listen to some of the stuff. And like kind of different genres, but like worship focused. And bro, as well as like worshiping, spending a lot of time in prayer, worship, and listening to a lot of worship music has, like, over the past month for me, I've prioritized like that, and bro,
wow, bro, wow,
living on the high.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm gonna, like, my dopamine levels are, like, filled.
Well, your fulfillment levels.
My fulfillment levels, yeah.
Like,
So that's, like, my long-term dopamine levels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like when you look at a screen, like, obviously there's the physical side of it when, like, your eyes look at blue light, you get, like, or, like, scrolling on some media or something, you get dopamine, but it's, like, up, down. It's like spike down,
Yeah.
look down.
It's not fulfilling.
Like,
it's not long lasting. Yeah.
Since I've changed my lifestyle to prioritizing worship and prayer, bro, it's like goof, and it just kind of stays there.
Yeah, bro.
Like, I feel like I've got dopamine like all the time, and it's so like
it's fulfilling.
It's so good. Like, and it's fulfilling, and like I've had like some tough things come my way. But like, I feel unshaken.
Sure.
I feel just as happy and as joyful. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, hold up, hey, this is a difficult time. I'm not sad. What's going on here? It's like, this doesn't add up. Like,
you built on the rock.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
like, once you build your house on the rock, meaning you focus your heart on God. Focus your heart on Jesus, then it's just so filling, bro. It's like you patching the hole in that bucket that you were trying to fill with other sort of earthly things, you know what I'm saying? That just go straight out.
You know that bucket metaphor? Yeah, it's
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with the holes in.
Yeah. So, I mean, my advice for you guys, how I fixed my depression, like I was saying, was number one, having work to do that makes you feel like fulfilled.
Yes.
Since I started this podcast and I've been putting hours and hours a day, I feel great. Even though I'm really busy, and other times I wasn't.
Work what you're passionate for, I think.
Passionate for,
Yes.
100%.
Just work sometimes can just burn you out, but
But, I mean, especially for me, like, if I'm really doing a lot of work, like, even if I'm not really enjoying it in the moment, it feels so much better than just, like, watching YouTube videos to get distracted.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Even if there's, like, no dopamine or whatever, it's so much better. Like, you get so much more of a longer dopamine hit rather than a spike.
Yeah.
So that first of all, and second of all is to put your faith in Jesus. Like, I mean, he's good. He loves you.
He's very good. He's very good.
He absolutely adores you, and he has a plan for you, and he wants the best for you. So he wants you to follow his plan. So follow his plan. Don't follow your own. So you can end up somewhere good.
Yeah, like he wants your life to be the fullest life. He wants your Lego set to be the most beautiful Lego set.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a whole podcast in itself.
Literally.
But I'm keen to hear some of the some of the other things you have here.
What's your opinion on Andrew Tate? This one.
Tatey boy, Andrew.
And last time I asked this question in the podcast, and I released a clip as a YouTube short of it. It got 7.5K.
Okay, so
and like on average, it gets like 400 to 500 views.
Yeah.
So like
now it's like Andrew Tate. Interesting. Yeah, Andrew Tate's still quite relevant in some ways. I thought that he wasn't.
Very much for me.
Really?
I feel like he's just as relevant as he was when he first. Well, not quite as he was, but like he's still very much relevant because he's on my feed quite a lot.
Yeah. Although feeds are like somewhat biased to you.
Yeah, obviously.
In a sense. Like I don't get Andrew Tate on my feed.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just because, it's the same way that I don't get Donald Trump on my feed. It's because anyways. Even though he's very influential, and they both are, in a sense. Yeah. Political in some ways. He's had a bit of controversy, which I don't know too much about, so I can't really talk about it.
Okay. Well, I respect you for saying that because most people would be like, no, this is what everyone says. No, I hate him because everyone else says they hate him. And surely that's the right part because surely everyone else that says it is right.
So I don't think Andrew Tate has enough, I don't have enough evidence on him to make any conclusions. But
I respect that.
From what I know, he's a hardworking guy. He's a smart guy. Very, very smart.
So smart.
And I think, he's really good at presenting facts. He's very good at speaking, public speaking, convincing people. I think he's a natural leader. But 100%. The controversy that people say about him, I can, in some ways, smart people can also convince you very easily that what they're saying is right when it's wrong. So but like I said, I don't know enough about him. Like I watch videos like your shorts. I saw them, about the stuff. But
clipped small things he says from, like the small little things he says out of context.
Yeah.
Which a lot
because people do that as well. But that's kind of what I feel. Andrew Tate. I actually did a bit of kickboxing.
Oh,
and I respect him a lot more now, the kickboxing, because kickboxing is hard, bro.
It is so.
It's gnarly, bro. People who like
boxing in general. Never mind. I haven't tried kickboxing. Boxing just gets me.
Have you done boxing
for like 5 minutes of
it's
punching
so tiring,
bag, and I'm like,
bro.
I got a little weight to carry around. So it's hard for me to stay nimble.
I was once in my digs. My roommate, he's a few years older than me, quite a hefty guy, and I was holding like a big tent bag, so it's a big heavy bag, and this guy gives me like a couple punches, I was like, come bro, let's spar, let's and this guy gives me like a few semi-hard decks to the abdominal regions with the pad in the way. And it was so painful, bro. So I can't imagine at those heavyweight levels, because my roommate's
using the maximum power.
Yeah, my roommate's heavy. So taking something like that without any padding would be so intense. So intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. Next question. Another opinionated question.
Yes. Opinionated okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah. What's your opinion on veganism?
Okay. Veganism. I think
These two questions are the ones that really trigger viewers.
Oh, really?
The last time I asked this question on my last podcast, I got like 5K views or whatever, but then I got like 50 comments, and they weren't like comments; they were like paragraphs.
Gnarly.
Every single one of them of people being like, "You can't go to this website. Look at the list.
Gnarly. Oh man. Well, I wish I was more opinionated. I hate veganism. No, I'm not that opinionated. Veganism, I think the Lord gave us, animals to like use for work and to eat. I think
it's biblical to eat meat, eh?
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Jesus ate, like fish. That's like something. So yeah, milk, also land of milk and honey. So the stuff I'm saying is just sort of based on the kind of biblical truth, the black and white sort of truth that I based my life on, which is the Bible and faith. Yeah. There's no gray area. So I don't, I think ethically, there could be, I think I remember seeing that clip. The guy you had on, the gentleman said, some of the methods of getting the animals into the boxes and onto your plates are pretty unethical in some ways. So if you're looking at it from an ethical point of view, fair enough. I get you. But if you're kind of looking at it from like a moral standpoint, you can't eat animals. Shut up! Have you seen that scene?
No, but if you look at those people that go out and protest in favor of veganism, I mean, just like,
what's it gonna do though? What's it gonna do? Like, I don't get it.
First of all, what's it gonna do? But second of all, you can tell they need a little bit of help.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, they're normal oaks, but it's like
it's just
a bit of perspective would be great. I think from a health perspective, I think it's quite great to have meats in your diet. Although I have seen the opposite, with like recovery and in training, like meats can like take a long time to digest.
Depends on what kind of training.
Yes.
For running, long distance running.
Yes. Your brother actually went.
Yeah.
I heard went to vegetarian, or was it vegan?
Vegetarian, not vegan.
Vegetarian because the meats take too long to break down. For the time that he wanted to recover in some ways. So you're saying it's different with bodybuilding as well?
Definitely.
Okay.
Like if you're a bodybuilder and you're a vegan, like, I'm sorry, you're not
going to make it, boy. This
like,
life's not for you.
No, not saying that. It's just I feel like your potential's very harnessed. like bro, if I'm running out of, like, if I'm struggling to get my protein in, like, I'll just have some mince.
Yeah.
Sorted. Beef mince. Sorted.
350 grams straight down the hatch.
Yeah.
I mean,
200 grams of protein, one serving. Boom. Beef mince. There you go. But like, actually, I just thought of it now on the topic. I did see a post from a guy that, well, he was calling himself a vegan.
Yes.
Bodybuilder, and he was pretty huge, and I was shocked. Like, bro, you huge and you're a vegan?
Oh,
how the heck does that?
Vegan plus.
Yeah. Vegan plus gear that could lead to size. That actually, that's good. I didn't really think of that.
Yeah.
But like that, I don't know why I didn't think of that. How the heck did I think of? I was so attached to the fact that he was a vegan that I forgot about all sorts of chemicals,
selective attention kind of
D-ball and kind of stuff. Okay, so next question.
Oh no, I'm joking.
Okay. This is a kind of dumb question, but it's just a topic, I suppose.
Okay.
Is social media Is social media more beneficial or harmful for society?
Yo, bro, hectic. Social media. I love social media sometimes, but I hate social media other times.
Yeah.
I read something that social media is like, it's kind of like the newspaper on steroids. It's like social, like media. It's like news, kind of, that's unfiltered and very connected, social, like throughout, like a massive sphere of like communication. Like this is kind of like a social sphere here, but then social media is like huge, like global, which I think is unhealthy to have such a huge, because like if you think about feeling stoked about yourself, okay, feeling stoked. You're in like a little town and you're the best guy at solving a Rubik's Cube, like lacquer, or you're the best guy at playing drums. Like you feel good, you're in a little town, that's all you're gonna, you're in the town and you're the best guy. Simple as that. Now social media is like a global scale, which is just so unrealistic. Yeah. It's like, you can't compare yourself. It's like, okay, I'm the most Japanese guy in this town, dude. I'm the most Japanese guy. But it's like you go onto social media and there's actual Japanese people. You just can't compare different cultures, different things.
And then you feel like you suck with what you're quite literally the best at in your area.
Yeah, you're the best looking Japanese. You're the best Japanese oak in your area, like the most Japanese. But
it's such a random example.
I know, but I'm just saying, and like.
I don't know. I feel like viewers might take this out of context, so they might accuse you of being racist or something.
No. I'm not racist.
Yeah, I'm saying they might accuse you. I mean, I don't really have much haters that watch the full podcasts.
Oh
yeah. Thank you guys for supporting me.
Go
watch
for
the podcast, but it's more the guys on the clips.
Yes.
That like to.
I'm pretty bulletproof because the Lord's.
Oh yeah. Me. That's another thing is once you put your full faith in Jesus. Like, you can't get offended.
Yeah, they can say what they want.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that in a rude way. Not in a rude way.
Yeah. It's just, once you put your faith in Jesus, you're so, like, again, you build your house on the rock. And so, like, people trying to offend you is the equivalent to, like, a storm around the house. But, like, if you build on the sand, then you're like, oh, no, I got offended. So, there's my house. I'm going to get upset now.
Yeah.
But, like... Yeah, I just feel a lot more stable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Social media is scary though, hey.
It is. Oh yes, I'll say my take on it.
If you're not built on the rock,
it's definitely more harmful than good, and it might come across as quite odd to you and anyone else listening to the fact that all I do is social media.
Yeah, it's like
it's a bit controversial, but what I'm saying is it's more harmful than good. And what people like me are trying to do on this platform is to try and help sort of turn that around and to try and put some good on the platform, talking about Jesus and all that good stuff, and try to spread the word. Because if there wasn't people like me, because we believed that society was bad, so we didn't want to contribute it. Oh, sorry, society. Excuse me. Well, that. Social media was bad, and so we didn't want to do it because it's bad, then there would be way worse because then there would be no good in it, so it would just be bad. So we need more people spreading good news on social media in general. So
that's awesome, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah. I have this platform that God has given me. And so I want to glorify him through that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah. How many thoughts stay in your head?
Yeah, not a lot, bro. But sometimes...
Not a lot, really.
What do you mean, like, by thoughts?
Like, if... I suppose you could interpret this question in any way if you wanted. I suppose the way I thought of it, I'll say that. You can answer the way I think and then the way you think.
Yeah.
But the way I think of it is like I have a thought of something I want to talk about, and then I talk about it, or I have like a thought during a conversation, and then I actually kind of say something because I had the thought that was.
Oh, I see. Like thoughts stay in your head. Like how much are you verbally?
How much are you verbally expressing? Like oh, I was gonna say this. Do you actually say it, or do you not?
Yes.
But
do you want to answer it before I answer?
Go ahead.
Okay. I think...
Also, you can give your answer for your own interpretation of the question if you had your own separate interpretation.
No, yeah.
So I'm interested to hear.
I think I'm fairly vocal not like insanely, vocal. Sometimes I feel like I'm in like a social situation and there's a lot of things that I'm thinking, but in that moment, I'm sort of like, I just feel like processing it by myself. Like I don't really feel like sharing it with the world in a way. Sometimes I'm in a mood where I'll say whatever comes to my mind and I say some stupid things. So yeah, even if I do say, I might say some stupid things now. Maybe I have already with that old Japanese thing. But yeah, some of the I say more than most, I'm speaking my thoughts. If I'm upset about something, most likely I'll be like, okay, no, this isn't right. And here's why. It's not like, I don't like to tune people for the sake of tuning people. But yeah, that's my.
So you'd say like over 50% of your thoughts get expressed.
Oh, numerically, as a percentage, I think.
I'd say the answer if you don't want to.
Yeah, like if
it's interesting.
My thoughts. Okay, let's define it, like refine it a bit for the percentage. Like in church or in at the bar or in class or
in general.
Yeah, overall. I think
or just on average.
On average, I'm about 60%.
60% of the thoughts in your head are expressed.
Are expressed.
I see. That's interesting.
But on the drums, like in music, I'm a lot more expressive. Because I've actually developed that skill of being expressive on an instrument. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's very expressive. I feel like sometimes what's holding me back from expressing, in English, is actually just the fear in some way of like your opinion not being valid, your view not being valid. But on the drums, it's like I'm quite confident in my abilities and my skills. So
that's interesting because maybe we program differently, but for me, like I want to say at least 90% of my thoughts stay in my head.
Really.
At least 90% of my thoughts stay in my head.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess it's also because of the way I grew up. I was the weird guy. And so
who has those weird thoughts, so you don't want to
not
share
necessarily
them,
but like I just was how do I explain this?
But I get what you mean. I
want to explain anyway, but I was the weird kid that wasn't very socially accepted very well, and growing up that way made me sort of time just sort of keep my thoughts to myself.
Yes, yeah.
Which in a way is very handy now because obviously it helps me think a lot before I speak, because most of the time I don't speak it, and then I can make the decision to speak of it if I want to, because most of the time
you're more calculated. You're more I know someone like that. They don't speak a lot, but when they speak, everyone listens.
Yeah, I try to be. I do try to be, but there's undoubtedly times when I have a thought and immediately say it, I generally try and use that as a strength to calculate what I'm saying.
Okay.
To come across as more structured. So next question.
Next.
Yes, soon we'll get halfway down this list. Even though where's the time thing again? 1 hour and 33 minutes, is that right?
Let's go.
Too easy. See, I love it when it goes on, because my biggest stress with podcasts is that it's like question answer.
Yes.
Done. It's 20 minutes and
but like if you have 20 questions, it's like, oh, what do you think about this? Yeah, it's cool. I just think this.
What's your opinion on Andrew Tate? Hate him. What's your opinion on Veganism? Hate him.
Adam.
Yeah. Anyway, but
what's your opinion on short podcasts? Love them. What can I say? I'm a comedian.
Interesting one, beautiful one.
Find me a good one from that basket of goods.
This is a very good one. So you're gonna love this one. But also, if you don't feel qualified to talk about this, you don't have to. But how do you discern God's voice from the thoughts in your head?
Practice, bro. Definitely practice. I can give an example. I think my roommate Sam Peters moved into the granny flat on our digs, and he's been really
just a friend of both of ours. Just for context, yeah.
I mean, you can beep out names, right, if it's too exposing, but I don't think he's a local friend of ours, legend, absolute legend.
As long as as long as you're not.
He ran around naked one day.
As long as you describe like some like crazy or weird story, then you say a name. But it's fine.
Yeah. And he's been getting he's been getting better actually at discerning the Lord's voice and discerning the voice of the Spirit, and that's taught me something about hearing His voice. And I really think that it's just practice and just listening and listening and listening, because it's like, how good are you at discerning what your wife kind of like means by what she says and what she wants and what this and that? You're not going to know from the get-go. It's not like a formula, bang, now I know how to discern a voice.
1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah, not like that. It's like practice. It's like a lot of like listening and intentionality and sacrifice. And Sam's been sacrificing and showing stuff like, what was one cool epic thing he did the other day? He had this shirt that had like a skull and it like this one like demon on it. It was like some kind of mythical but serious demon. And he was putting it on one morning, and he felt the Lord tell him, like, don't wear this shirt.
Take it off.
Yeah, take it off.
Okay.
And he was like, okay. It's a bit weird, like, the Lord, like, you're telling me to take off this random shirt. I mean, it's just a skull and a demon. It's like not a big deal. And then he takes it off and he puts on a shirt that says, like, something paradise. Quite ironic that it was like a thing that said paradise. And then he goes to class, proceeds to have a fantastic day, and sees another guy wearing that demon shirt that he had. And later on in the evening, Sam was still feeling like, what should I do with this shirt? Should I go back to it, wear it tomorrow? Or, like... Conviction. And I feel like that was the Lord talking to him.
Yeah.
Not word for word, take this top off. Yes, that could have been as well. But the conviction of like, maybe I shouldn't go back to this. And I feel like that's in a lot of spheres as well, right? Like, I don't feel like that was really right. I don't think I'll keep going back to that. And so what he actually did, my roommate Luke said, burn the shirt, bro. So we started up a braai.
That is
chucked the shirt on and just watched this thing burn like Sodom and Gomorrah.
That is so cool.
And so now he's not looking back. He's not going back to the shirt.
That is so
it's
sick.
Cool. Like that's like
that
chopping off the hand.
Yeah.
That causes So
I mean,
I think just sacrifice and practice.
Yeah, I can add on to that point. In terms of, I feel like the way God has spoken to me, especially around this podcast, is he plants a thought in your mind that seems very sort of, it comes across as like a little bit convictional. Like I'll get the thought and then I'll be like, is this from God? Is this not from God? Then it's most likely from God, because it's something like random. And then
your flesh is like,
your flesh, I don't want to do it. and then about the thing itself, it gets very convictional, where it's like, do I want to do it? Do I don't? Do I want to do it? And then you think about it for like days.
Yes.
Then I definitely feel, because that's exactly what happened with this podcast.
Really?
Was I had I was at the stage where I was praying so much. I was like, God, what do I do with social media? What I'm doing right now is not working. I'm hating what I do, first of all, and it's getting no results.
Really? Really?
So, I was actually hating what I was doing, and I was getting no results.
Wow.
So I was spending less time on it.
And you're starting to feel burnt out as well, because you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's giving me nothing in return. And views and subscribes, everything were going down. And so I was just hating it so much. So because I was trying to make the content I didn't like creating just for the sake of views. And then I was praying so much. I was like, Lord, tell me what to do. And then I started thinking like, what if I start a podcast?
Yeah.
Because I've shown that I can't really talk to the camera genuinely and teach people very well. So what if I talk to someone else and then put a mic on them too?
Yeah, make it seem like
a conversation.
personal.
Yeah, because the biggest thing for me was I found at gym when I was helping people like with random things, they would like get a lot of value and I would like really help them and they'll thank me a lot.
And you feel
and then I'll put a
fulfilled
camera
from
on
that.
and try and make up a question in my head that I can answer and it would sound terrible. And it wouldn't sound genuine because the whole thing was like sort of scripted
and
or
you also
whatever.
don't feel as good. You don't feel like you're getting that personal connection and that kind of fulfillment.
And so I started kind of thinking like maybe I should start a podcast, but I obviously didn't want to go straight into it because it cost me quite a lot to get all this equipment.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
So and I also didn't want to start it looking really crappy or sounding really crappy.
Yes.
So I wanted to get some stuff to actually get it on a decent level.
It's
where
a nice plant, actually.
it is
Those things
enjoyable.
are expensive.
Oh, I didn't actually. This was just up the passage. I stole it from the passage, and
Maybe I should steal it from you.
I steal it once a week for a couple hours. Anyway,
This plant is smart now, bro. It's been listening to all these conversations.
This plant's gonna.
This is a healthy, self-fulfilled, like not. He was depressed. I'm telling you,
He was depressed.
He would sit in the passageway.
He put his roots on the rock.
Now he's grounded in the faith.
Yeah.
This guy.
He's on concrete, not just rock, concrete. Oh goodness me! But anyway, so
stemmed from righteousness.
That is so funny. My goodness, Brie, you crack me up. So anyway, I had this thought about starting a podcast, and for about a whole week, not joking, like all day, everywhere day, that was all I was thinking about. And then
stop thinking
the
about
turning point.
Absolutely.
And also another thing is when God says yes, he doesn't say yes. He convinces you the no that it's a no is a no. Not the yes is a yes, really. For me personally. I'm going to change the battery real quick because it's flashing. Speak about something for 20 and 25 seconds.
Welcome to our ad break with Luke Chadwick. I'm your host, and I am delighted to be telling you about my new American accent program that I've been learning and teaching myself how to speak in an American accent. And this is the results. I think they've been working. And actually what I do is just listen to American influences all day long. And the way that I do that is I'll open up my YouTube shorts and I'll just start scrolling and the American influencers will start tuning me and then
I can copy accents so well. As long as I hear it, I can do it well. Like I can't say like from a country that I haven't really heard someone put the puzzle piece together, but like if I've heard something, I can copy it.
You're very good at impersonations.
I copy very well.
You are very good, yeah.
And so it tends to come across as mocking to most people.
Yeah, so you do that. But I remember I used to copy your sister's sneeze. It was like,
no, dude, I do that all the time.
My
boyfriend. What was I saying on again before
we were talking about the plant getting fulfilled. The fulfilled plant.
Yes. No, I was talking about the podcast
setup.
And God. Anyway, so how God basically said yes to me was I had a new thought that He obviously plants thoughts that our brains begin to debate itself on.
Yes.
The natural desires of the flesh are like, no, we want to stay, we don't want God to take control, Yes. Devil's like, just stay with me. But so basically, I had this revelation. I was like...
Or the Lord gave you, or sort of dropped you with a revelation.
So I realized that everything I'm currently doing with social media, I'm hating doing it. I'm not just hating like filming it. I was really hating filming it, mainly filming it. and I wasn't really enjoying editing it because I just sounded terrible. I hated the way I sounded, I hated the way I looked, everything. I just sort of, anyway, well, not necessarily the way I looked, but whatever.
Oh, sorry.
But and I was getting nothing from it, and it was just sort of
not fulfilling.
Spiraling in a way. I don't know what I meant by spiraling, but it just sounded like a word that sort of was correct for the situation.
Yes.
So there it is. and so that God was basically gave me that revelation of, you have nothing to lose, because what you're doing right now is not winning.
Wow.
So the only place you can go from losing is up, really. And even at the moment, like the full podcast definitely get less views than my normal YouTube videos did. But I'm just like, I don't care about the views as much.
You're loving it.
I'm loving it, dude.
So cool.
This conversation, bro. I love this because,
dude, even for someone who's being invited on, it's a positive experience. So
thank you, bro.
You're spreading positivity, not just, online, but I think to real, like in person at the same time. So I think, it's such a win, bro.
Yeah. So, like, and like, as long as I put God first, like, I feel so fulfilled, so happy doing it. And, like I said, God just put that thought of conviction in my mind, and now I'm sort of...
You acted on it.
I acted on it. That was the biggest thing. Is I acted on it. I almost didn't act on it because I was spending too much time in my head.
Yes. Yeah.
I was all my thoughts were staying in my head.
Right.
And so, I almost didn't act on it because I didn't want to spend even more money.
Yes.
On social media. That
no more sacrifice.
That camera was like expensive. Cameras are expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Goodness me. But
I've still got my GoPro Hero 6. GoPro Hero 6.
GoPro's coming strong. Yeah.
They're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. Anyway, so that's that. And now we're here.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah. Having
spreading
legendary
the word
time.
online to probably hopefully around 100 views.
Yeah, and just having an enriching conversation,
Yeah,
one-on-one.
this is so good.
Yeah.
Where was I on the list? I was... oh, yes, I was saying how you discern God's voice from you. So. How should you react when you're insulted?
Okay, I'll start with how do I react when I get insulted?
Yeah, how do you react and how do you believe you should react?
Okay. When I get insulted, I'd say if it was like a genuine go at me and it was a once-off, often I just laugh it off. It's not a big deal. Because those kinds of small things, you can sort of dodge them and parry them. So I think short-term, insults are not a big, quick, but I won't give examples. But yeah, the short-term stuff I don't really get too fazed by. But if it's somebody that's kind of quite close to me in a way, or in my friend group, and it's a continual barrage of attacks at me, then I'm okay, what's the deal here? What's going on? All these kinds of things are rushing through my head. I used to be would deal with it the same way I deal with the quick, short-term bases. It's just laugh it off, no big deal. But when it keeps, when it's repetitive and it keeps going on, it gets a bit annoying actually. And, I don't tolerate it in the sense that I laugh it off. I'm more actually just kind of look people dead in the eye, and if it was a joke, how people vase you with a joke.
Yeah.
Is today I don't know, wacky wear day, or do you always dress like this? But it's you can tell there's something underneath, something underlying, a deep dig at you, a deep, root at your character. And I would, if that was like the continual barrage, I'd just respond to them, look at them and say, no, this is just how I decided to, dress today.
Yeah.
There's nothing funny about that. And yeah, I think just being serious and being honest, and not, having a backbone, not laughing, not standing up for yourself. That kind of makes sense. Because if it would be a bit strange to be like super, backbone and defensive every time someone has a small little dig at you.
Because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And if you give them what they want, they'll continue.
Yes, they want a little response or whatever. Or they just really want to undermine you. And I think it's all about reading the situation and kind of like, so yeah, it depends definitely from situation to situation. But yeah, most of the time, the proper guys who are just digging at me, I'll just be straight up like honest with them and say like how I'm feeling, what I don't like about what they're saying. And some of the guys are like, yeah, fair enough. I'm just doing this for this and that. Yeah. How do you sort of?
Well, I run a podcast. I get plenty of those comments because those straight they go from vague, like being like,
so such fake content, bro.
Yeah, like fake or like, or like the straight up, which is like, why do they sell podcast equipment at this point? Well, like I've got that same.
Or like those sarcastic questions and stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten the same question 3 times. Why do they sell podcast equipment at this point?
What are they trying to? What are they trying to tune?
Yeah,
by that they're trying to say.
Which is odd. I mean,
bro.
So
why do they make YouTube comments available anymore?
That's actually I'll respond to that next time. No, I'm kidding. So what? A quote from not a quote. Something that Alex Hormozy said. Are you aware of Alex Hormozy? He's a sort of a financial sort of influencer.
Okay.
Very wealthy guy, good mindset, pretty jacked.
Yeah.
And he said, which I'm trying to do every now and then with the hate comments, is that when he gets a hate comment, he just one-ups them.
Fair enough.
Hopefully
not retaliate, because that's sometimes
exactly.
Makes
they want retaliation.
Yeah.
So if you one up them, they, huh?
Yeah.
Like
what do you mean by one up?
It's
what is he?
If for an example, if I get a comment like bro, you suck at talking, and I'll be like, oh, you should see me in real life. That's barely the surface.
Oh, I get what you mean. I get what you mean. I'm worse. I'm worse, bro.
It's like you think here's bad. See me in real life, or like stuff
enough.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of the way I'm sort of trying to deal with it at the moment.
Yeah, and it actually shows
when I do like deal with it. Otherwise, I don't really think too much of it, because once again, when you, especially with social, obviously in real life it's a bit different, but with social media, like we said earlier, once you put your faith in Jesus and you truly love him, and he wants the best for you, and he's got a plan for you, then
nothing can take away how
like
good your
a hate
legacy
comment
looks.
on YouTube, it's not going to break me down.
No,
it doesn't faze me.
And
really
when
too
you
much.
know why it's
like every now and then, it's like it doesn't offend me, but it's like, why would someone say this?
Yeah.
Not because I'm offended, but because I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Because whenever there's
you?
really bad hate comments, the people themselves are in a very dark place, and they sort of try to escape it by getting the attention of trying to sort of offend other people, which is obviously the.
It just says something.
And they need Jesus. I'll say that.
Just says something about them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But some people, you can really only love them, and
that's
a lot
what
of
they need, pretty much.
Yeah, and something I also had to come to terms with was loving people who persecute you isn't going to fix them. It's not always going to fix them. It's like, oh, this person's facing me, I'm going to love them. So like, I'm expecting now they're going to get fixed and stop persecuting me. It's actually not always the case. So it's not really like a solution to their problem. It's more actually a solution to your problem of like hating back.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like getting really attacked by that problem, because loving people is a freeing thing. It's a difficult thing to do, but it's really freeing. Like, if you're worried about how what people you think about how you dress, or like what they think about you when you talk,
the few haters that actually comment on my
the
stuff.
few haters wherever you are, you know, if you actually like flip it and say like, you know, like, oh, you dressed, no, I'm joking, you just badly today. If you flip it and say like how can I love on you, not love you like romantic love, but love in the sense of like I care for you even though I don't really know you, and yeah, it's like, it's unconditional. It's a thing that a lot of people don't really understand. And the guys who comment say, oh, you're loving me, what does that mean? It's like, you know, Jesus said like they cannot, the light overcame the darkness and the darkness cannot comprehend it. Sorry, that's what John said. That's what John wrote. And, you know, the darkness cannot understand it, cannot, you know, like put it into a box and like because that's what a lot of people try and do. Oh, yeah, you're just doing this, or you're just backlashing at me for whatever reason. The darkness can't really like, and that does happen in real life when you actually just love someone. It's like a freeing thing for you, and a lot of people are like, yeah.
How does the light work?
I was messaging a guy about a fingerboard. Funny enough, I wanted to buy this like pro fingerboard, and I'll be honest, I didn't know that it was, you know, worth quite a bit, but I wanted to really bargain him down. So I tuned him like, you know, 600, 500. He was offering $1,000 for it. And I say, you know, this is what I can offer. He was like, oh, sorry, bro, like that's a little bit high. He doesn't respond to me. I say, maybe we can do a higher price. Doesn't respond back. I assumed he was waiting for a response from somebody else before he got back to me, you know, so that, yeah, he was just ignoring me because he was waiting for someone else to offer him a better price. And then I tune him. I was actually in the wrong. I think I tune him and I say, listen, bro, like fingerboarding is a dying hobby. It's like, it's died in 2014. You're not going to get $1,000 for this, bro. This is a dead hobby. You know, it's like a tiny little thing like this. You're not going to get $1,000 for it. And I'd maybe, you know, used a bit of like, I maybe spoke in a way that was like a little bit, like aggro to him, and then he tunes me and he's like, oh, bro, you know, shut up, this, that, in a little bit of a ruder way. And then I was like, I was quite keen to keep vasing and like keep the back and forth of like the spice, because I could have. I'm good at roasting people if I want to, you know, and so I was like,
bro, you like pulling this carpet for
yeah, so I'm ripping this thing around.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, it's probably the best thing is just to love, you know, like show biblical love.
Yeah.
You know, people, and so I was like, sorry, man, I actually didn't mean to offend you. It was like straight up, and I could tell even just by the way he was messaging. I didn't even see him in person, but I could tell just by the way that he was messaging, he had actually softened, you know, his heart as one. He offered me a good deal. I didn't end up buying it, but you know, it was like,
Poor guy.
Yeah, I played with him a little bit, and then I catch and release. So yeah, I think love is a very powerful tool. Hate is hate, and yeah, love is like something that breaks down walls, breaks down barriers, because the guys who are roasting online right now, as we speak, typing a comment, like I can see them. You show them, you show them like real love, like genuine love. That's not conditional. That's not like, coming from your flesh where you're trying to, like, I don't know, whatever you might be doing. You show them genuine love, and eventually, like, that kind of toxic back and forth relationship just breaks down. The darkness just, it just can't beat the light. What do you think about that?
There's a period on that sentence. Full stop.
Fair enough.
That was well said.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah. Okay. Just end it right there. Full stop. Okay.
In the podcast.
Here's the next discussion is going to be prompted by a quote.
Okay.
This is also from Alex Hormozy. It's quite a long one. If you can be in a bad mood for no reason, you might as well be in a good mood for no reason. If it's not going to change your life, it shouldn't change your mood. If the cost is peace of mind, don't buy it.
I've heard part of that quote before. If it costs your inner peace, it's too expensive or something.
Yeah. Yeah. If the cost is peace of mind, don't buy it.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Peace of mind. That's like an interesting, being at peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I lose my peace quite easily. I don't know about you.
This bulk makes me very gassy. That's what happens when you eat 8 meals a day. Got a lot of digestive processing going on.
Yeah.
But so I guess the question would be, or the discussion would be around. You can continue, but actually just continue.
Okay.
I'll re-prompt it afterwards.
A peace of mind. Being at peace. It's like I said, quite interesting. It's like, what does that really mean? To be at peace. I think it means like being content, being satisfied, being happy, and like too expensive is just, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it to go down that rabbit hole. And I sometimes wonder, because I do often go down the rabbit holes, something that really annoys me is people like staring at me without making any kind of social, like, I don't know, communicative signal. So like people just staring at you, like, it annoys me so much, so much, and I'll be like staring back at them, and I want to get like confrontational and be like, yo, what's up, bro? You think I'm retarded, or like, why are you staring at me like that, boy? It irritates me so much, and I actually like, I like it, almost linking back to the thing of love. I was doing a initiative program where we go out into parties, and we do this and that and help people out. I think you're familiar with what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it on the
should we
thing. Maybe because I'm not supposed to say like what it's all about, like publicly. It's more one-on-one. But
I see.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to beep out that.
I see,
word,
yeah,
but anyways. So you're supposed to love people, and so I go out there, and the first guy that I see is just staring at me. I'm like, are you serious, dude? Come on.
Perfect.
Lord, you're testing me here.
Yep.
Staring me down, like staring at me. I was like I'm retarded. That's always the feeling. I think it's because I think I'm retarded. I get so triggered. No, I'm joking. Bad joke. I don't think I'm retarded, but
the guys just to add that point, just to make sure you guys.
Just so you know, the guy was staring at me, and I had two options. Obviously, the stare back, the confrontational, the weird look, the look away, or what our sort of like mission to do as our group was like to help people out and love on people. So instead of like staring back at him, I sort of just looked at him, gave him a little smile, and then just like looked away. And that actually...
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it was difficult for me to do it. And it was close to costing me my peace, where I would have turned it into a bit of an aggro, getting a bit aggressive because it irritates me just naturally. But then what happened was the guy walks up to me. I'm like, bro, this guy's walking up to me. Like, what's happening now? I see him in my peripheral, and he comes up to me and he says, bro, I just wanted to say, like, your outfit looks really cool. Your red hair, red top looks so sick, bro. And I was like, wow, shot, man. What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. We chat. And, like, I was really able to, like, connect with this guy and, fulfill, like, the mission of what we were there to do, love on people. And so that was, like, very cool for me to see how like sacrificing a bit of ego actually saved me peace and saved me, like, it sounds a bit abstract to say it in that way, but it really did. I really ended up, it was a bit of a sacrifice, but I actually, ended up a lot better for it.
A little bit of a sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a big sacrifice because I don't like people.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like short, like little as in short term.
Yes.
Very much a short term thing. It was like just a quick move. So, which is a sacrifice to avoid the regret.
Yeah. So I mean, I just showed love.
Yeah, that's good stuff, bro. Yeah. If you ever want to get to know Luke, just stare him straight in the eyes, and in public. Just go like.
Then if everyone starts doing that, I'm going to go crazy.
This thing's going to go viral. And everyone is telling you, just going to be... And then you're going to be the stare at guy.
That would be the worst. How do you think this mic is if it's there and I'm speaking here? Can you still hear fine?
I just pointed towards you.
Yeah. I mean,
if you move your head, you can adjust it. It's not like...
Like if I, by mistake speak like that, it's quite a big...
It is a very big difference. So just make your effort to put in speaking. If you don't mind, thanks, buddy. But yeah, this quote, the reason I put it down is it hits really hard because this is one of the biggest things I've changed recently. And I'm always in a good mood. And I make an effort to be.
Yes.
And since I started to always be in a good mood, making an effort to be, obviously it's a lot easier now that I'm like worshipping the Lord so much and have so much faith in God. It's really easy to be so joyful and happy all the time. And like I said in the previous podcast, the way I greet people when they say like, hey, how are you? Like, I'm good, how are you? I'll always say I'm always good because, and I'm, I always, okay, I'm not gonna say I'm
that's
always
actually,
be good,
it's a big shift,
Like I always make such an effort to always be good. And it's become one of those, it's funny to say, but it's become one of those things that I put my all into.
Sure.
Like, remember I was saying about bodybuilding,
good.
like the prep, like I went all into it. Like I actually, these days I put my all into being good all the time.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like mood. I'm not saying like, well, I mean, a different topic about being a good person.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is about being in a good mood.
Yeah.
Like I put all my effort into being in a good mood. And the amount of love I've gotten in return is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like I did not expect.
It's positive. It's like, it's mutual positive energy. Like you be like negative and you get negative sometimes. Yeah.
Like I've unintentionally helped other people, like in like that wasn't even aware of. Like there was this one lady that works at the gym that obviously whenever I come to gym, I know everyone who works there because I'm there every day and I try to, you know, maintain good friendship with everyone there. So I always come in and always be someone on the front desk. I'll be like, you know, greet them, whatever. And I'll be saying, I'm always good, thank you.
Yeah.
Good attitude, obviously. I always say, I'm always good. You know?
Yeah,
I'm always good, thank you. You know?
Sure.
Keep the good attitude. And I mean, I've actually gotten this from multiple people who work there and other people, but specifically this one person was like, you know, I'm really like, I'm shocked at how you're always good. And like, it's like every day.
It struck her.
It's not like, the thing for her was that like, it wasn't just like I was saying, I'm always good. It's not just a phase. Like she realized that I was always good.
You are good.
And then she asked me like, how are you like always good? And I tried to keep it sort of brief. And I was like, there's too many blessings to focus on the stressings.
Sure.
And I just kind of left it like that.
Sure.
And I mean, yeah, she was quite changed.
That's quite interesting. Yeah.
So, and I mean, yeah, that was just one of them. But like, I've gotten like at least 4 or 5 people in the gym.
Really?
Being like,
you're spreading that
positive.
That positive.
So like spreading positivity really comes back to you. Like
definitely.
If you do it with your heart in the right place, like the bad place to do it would be like, oh, I'm always good because someone's gonna give me the good back. You know, I'm gonna give it to you.
It's conditional. It's conditional. That stuff.
I'm gonna give it to you because you're gonna give it back to me.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's not love, bro. That's not love from the Lord.
Because I used to be a very sort of transactional person, because like I said, like my childhood, I grew up very much like a socially less acceptable sort of person. I was the weirdo that no one really enjoyed spending too much time with. Well, the biggest thing was I didn't fit in any social circles.
Sure.
I was the guy that hopped in between, but I was in a small school where everyone knew everyone.
Yes.
So it's not like I just sat alone. Like every now and then I would, but I would like hop between the circles and just never really fit in them. So I just keep sort of hopping in between and be the kind of the guy who's quiet in the corner.
No,
so,
like solid.
Once I shifted, well, because of that, I've sort of was very much like I want some attention because I didn't get any. So I was very desperate for attention.
Yeah.
And so obviously that led to a variety of things. But once I had just let go and just kind of love, you know, just spread love without expecting anything in return.
Exactly.
Then it just comes.
That's love that comes from the Lord, I think. I think that's love overflow from the Lord, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you say you started worshiping. I think that's overflow. Like, I really feel like that's reaping in a way, because the Bible talks about, you know, Jesus as rhythm, what we were talking about. And the Bible also rhythm is in and out, coming and going. And I feel like Jesus, you know, what we were saying about coming and going, and I don't know if it actually was Jesus who said this, but the Bible does say what you reap, what you sow, you will reap. And in a way, you sow unconditional sacrifice. You worship. It's not transactional. It's not like, okay, I'm only going to worship if I'm feeling this. You're sowing that. And the Lord says, you will reap what you sow. Yeah. And you're sowing it, not conditionally, but now you're starting to reap it. And I really feel like that's something a lot of people can like learn from.
Yeah.
Like sowing unconditional love from the Lord.
I love that analogy, because like it's not just sowing, reaping, being like planting fruit. It's like you have to plant and you have to wait a long time and you have to constantly put effort into feeding or watering. Sometimes if your soil is pretty whack, you got to get some nutrients in there. But like, it's just sort of putting effort into nurturing that plant that you're sowing and putting time into spreading love. Won't come back immediately, because like plants, they don't immediately give fruit. They take a while to grow and then give fruit. Because if we were to if we were to reap what we sow so quickly, we would just temporarily love and then just move on and then be like, I need some
everything
attention.
Would be fake.
Maybe love this person and give, everything would just become an ATM machine. But when I side tangent, I forgot my main point. Oh yeah, I mean, not only is it good because I get love in return, but I feel so much more fulfilled doing what God wants me to do, spreading love.
Yeah.
So I'm already very fulfilled and happy just as I am, spreading love without getting any love back. I don't need the love back.
Yeah.
But like it's almost God like rewarding me for my like my work. Not that it's not
that you were doing it for.
Yeah, the surprise is that it's not forced.
Sure.
Like it's not forced. How I'm sort of always good, or how I'm.
I think that's how you know that it's.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's how I know it's. My life.
Joe back, bro.
My life is transformed with putting the Lord before everything else. It's just good times, or just my good mood is not forced. It's very much just sort of flows, you know?
Yeah.
Always good, bro. Another very interesting question for you, my man.
Go for it.
What are some important qualities in a woman you look for that you believe too many guys overlook in the desperation of getting a date?
Yikes. That's a solid question. In the desperation of getting a date, I think people overlook, they overlook a lot of things. There's not like a couple concrete, ones that people always overlook. People can overlook anything when they really, really just want to be in a relationship for whatever reason it is. People could overlook, loyalty. It's a difficult one to spot, but loyalty. The other one I think that people could overlook is family. If a girl is not close to her family, that's a bit of a red flag for me, because if someone's not family orientated and I want to start a family, that's a problem. Just for me.
Yeah.
I'm not blanket statement doing that.
Not saying that all people without family are bad people.
No, because some people don't have families.
Yeah.
And
most people, it's not in their control. So
yeah.
So like they decided to be a familyless person.
Yeah.
But continue what you're saying.
I think some guys would just go for the pretty girls. Some guys would go for like the sporty girls or the smart girls. But I feel like you could be overlooking the biggest red flag of all to overlook is the wrong girl, in a way. The wrong girl is the biggest red flag. If the Lord hasn't called you to that woman, and she doesn't feel like you guys were called, the Lord called her to you, I feel like that's the biggest red flag. It's not the qualities.
Yeah.
The Lord can work. Everyone's flawed. No one's perfect. Everyone's got red flags. It's not like if you have one red flag or this quality, I'm not going to date you, or I'm going to overlook these red flags and this and that. I really feel like if it's where the Lord's called you, then, it's the right person. And, His grace will be with you guys and lead you guys to have a fulfilling and beautiful relationship that's centered around Him and not each other. Because if you green flag focused, not the Lord focused, then those green flags, like sporty, good looking, just like being built on the sand, when the wind and the waves come, old age and injuries or whatever,
Yep.
they're going to wash away, bro. They're really going to wash away.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up feeling unfulfilled
Yeah.
because you were getting your sense of fulfillment from being with this girl that's good looking, smart.
From the green flags you chose.
Green flags. Because the green flags are temporary, I think. But the Lord's plan is forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to elaborate on that and say not to I don't want to say chase, but chase someone because of physical attraction, but instead spiritual and emotional attraction.
Spiritual attraction.
Rather.
Yeah.
In a way that, because obviously we men, we a lot more physically attracted.
Physically attractive stuff is like built into us by the Lord, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's very easy to just sort of, fall for the desires of the flesh.
It is.
I'll say that.
It really is. Because the Lord does design, the body in that way that it's attractive and beautiful to us. Like, yeah.
And I feel like when you okay, sorry, I probably shouldn't speak on this because I've never been in a relationship in life.
Right. What are your estimates about what it's like to be?
But thank you. That sort of gives me permission. But like when you are with someone that you understand and you can relate with, and it's more of a, you like them as a person, not just physically, because we have, like, we can say like, oh, we like this person, like, yeah, they're physically attractive, but we like the person, but in reality we're just physically attracted to them and not really emotionally or anything like that. But like when you're honest with yourself and you genuinely love having conversation, that's a big one. It's when you can talk for like,
bro,
for ages.
Being a close friend with the person you're dating is so important.
Being friends.
So important.
And then
you can just be yourself.
Yeah, because it's just, I mean, marriage in the end goal is just a sort of close forever friendship, really.
Yeah, covenant,
yeah.
That the Lord designed. But it's important, like you're saying, that friendship is at the center, not lusting after, or not lusting, but like physical attraction, because that
because one argument comes along and I realize, actually, I don't like you because it was just physical.
Or you get old, and then it's like,
it's not worth it.
That's why I also think like putting the Lord in the center. Like I saw a cool analogy. It said, like you in a relationship is like two things like this: you and her, or you and her, and the Lord's here. You guys are like together like this. It's not like this, where the one person is like in front of the other and receives from the Lord, and this person has less light, so they have to take from this person. This person can't really give you the light that the Lord does. You have to both be facing like this. And
you can't reflect to something behind you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can overflow, great,
so
but that person has
analogy
to be...
I thought I'd just add in there, because like as followers of Christ, we're supposed to reflect the love of the Lord.
Yes.
And
yes.
You can't reflect behind you.
Yeah.
You can only reflect by your sides in front of you.
It's that you have to have some kind of inflow and overflow from the Lord. I feel like you can't be getting it from someone else.
Yeah.
Like no one can give you what the Lord can give you.
Yeah.
Because if you're pursuing that kind of fulfillment from like fulfilling life kind of thing, where your that hole in you is filled by a woman. It's the same like training or something where you get sick and you can't train and then your life goes downhill. Yeah. It's going to be exactly like that, where like you're building on something that's going to get washed away. So I think it's very important to be like
Yeah.
putting the Lord in the center, not their looks.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. And yeah, onto another quick point on the bucket analogy. Do you mind leaning back? Because the sun looks like it's blaring on your face. There we go.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Shot. But another analogy on the bucket thing with the hole in the bucket.
Yes.
Is that everything you know except for Jesus will eventually disappear. And so if your fulfillment comes from anything but Jesus, it'll disappear. Whether that might be career, whether that might be relationships, or whether that might be...
Yeah,
you know?
don't invest in the things of this world. You know, that's what the Bible says.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Everything else dissipates except for him. Next question.
I do have a musician's training time that I think is fairly soon.
Oh yes. What time?
Time now is 4:03.
4:03. Okay. What time does it start?
Well, the kind of like welcoming was 3:30, but the like training time is like 4:15. But I can be late, so maybe like a closing question.
How much? There were 4 more points, I think.
Hey, bro, we can even do a 2.0.
Yeah, we could do a part 2, I suppose.
No, because then we're fresher. Because now I feel like
now it's going to be rushed.
I'm like, ooh.
Anyway, yeah, I think that'll be a good idea.
I think we should.
I think we should give it a little bit of a wrap here, Brew. So, thank you so much, my Brew, for coming on to the King of the Jungle podcast.
Oh, bro, it's such a pleasure.
Episode number 3, where we absolutely went and we just went absolutely insane.
We milked the milk out of this podcast. We got all
I didn't even finish my notes.
Juice, yeah.
I didn't even finish my notes.
Every question, we milked it.
We milked every question.
A lot of fun. Thanks for having me, Kay.
Yeah, we did surpass halfway through the questions, but there are still more there. So comment down below if you want Luke on again, so we can finish this, and maybe even if he does come again, then I'll definitely add more on. That was a great conversation. Thanks for being like the whole time. You know, you were a good talker, not just like not just at the end where you opened up. From the beginning, you were.
I'm surprised I can still talk at the end because I'm like.
Sorry. Anyway,
so thanks. You've been an awesome host, and I enjoyed your questions.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
You're a fantastic guest.
Studio is epic.
Yeah. So just for you guys, my plan from the future here on is to sort of alternate between fitness and religious talk, because I'm wanting to share the word of God online, but my whole community is fitness based, and I don't want to just be the Christian guy and then like a whole bunch of fitness fans unfollow because he just talks about Jesus all the time. So I'm wanting to sort of that's another way of me sort of potentially getting to those people who are less attentive to Jesus, and potentially sort of rope them in via the fitness content, and then they're like listen to something else, and then they might get their cart turned a bit. All for the good.
Yeah, we're not.
I do because I love you guys.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not trying to Bible bat. Yeah, Bible bashing. I'm doing it because I love you guys, and I want the best for you, and I know that this is the best.
Yeah. Give it a go. It's worth it. It's always worth it.
Yeah,
Give
so
it a try.
That's why I'll sort of thinking of alternating between interviewing like gym guys, fitness based, and then sort of oaks from sort of church and
other spheres. Yeah, definitely.
This was epic. Thanks for being such a great guest, and that is episode 3 of the King of the Jungle podcast. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode or in another clip. Cheers, peace. Oh wait, subscribe.